was at Home Depot a couple of years ago and spotted this great big parcel box. It's a U.S. mailbox, official parcel box. And I was thinking, wow, like what a great tail trunk for my motorcycle. Now, the main thing is it opens at the back, which is, pretty cool, because what I want to park on top of it is this great big horseshoe bag here for my camping gear. And it just boosts like way up my cargo carrying capacity for the bike. You can take a little bit of a look here. I've been playing around with a couple of things, getting ready for my trip. I got some 50 caliber ammo boxes right there on the front of the crash bars. And then I got my big old side bags that'll go down here. I don't have them out right now, but they come out. They're like, probably about the size of this bag here, but sideways. Some of you have seen pictures before. So I'm making a run in a couple of days. I'm heading north. I'm going to go into Canada, and I'm a Canadian citizen. Some of you may or may not remember this year has been the year I've figured out that I've got multiple personality. And on top of the pandemic, on top of the economy, everything else that's crashing in on all of us, I'm working my way through that. And a few people have been wondering, like, isn't this kind of weird that you're taking a motorcycle run up the Ontario area? And it is. It's crazy, kind of like, maybe ill-advised in some respects. And what I'm doing here with the video is I'm just letting you know, I don't think normally I would do this at this time of the year in these kind of circumstances. But what's really come up for me here in the last month or so is my littles, my small people, really want to see my mom. And so we're gonna make the run north, and some friends, some family have wonderfully offered to quarantine us just after we cross Detroit. So a little past the Windsor side, we have John and Brenda, who are putting us up for 14 days in a separate part of their house to kind of leave us to quarantine. So, that's a spectacular thing. The funny thing is, I'll say that, for obvious reasons, right? Like, my more middle or big adult portion of who I am is looking at this and saying, okay, a nice adventure. But there's also parts that are kind of like fighting this a little bit, or nervous about it. It's a big deal. Like, we're going to travel during a pandemic. We're going to do a lot of self-isolating. We're going to camp a fair bit. Pack a bunch of hand sanitizer. The craziness of this is like way up here, right? But that kind of natural, kind of beautiful, I want to see my mom is really present for most of us. I mean, it is for all of us, of course, but it's almost like I don't know what's going to happen next spring or through the winter. if travel is going to even be allowed into Canada. I'm hoping, you know, if I can make these kinds of arrangements and be really careful, I can keep going. I don't think Mom at her age is good to come here to Florida, but yeah, so we're doing it, and we feel a little kind of crazy about it, but at the same time, in our heart, in our kind of like really tender places, we know it's the right thing to do. So I'm putting this out just as a kind of a primer for, I'll send up a couple more videos on the trip. We're going up the I-75 corridor. We're going to take 95 from here in Fort Lauderdale up to Jacksonville, and then kind of wiggle our way along Highway 129 north of Macon into Athens, and then back out to Knoxville and pick up 75 again and head up to Detroit that way. So if there's any of you, I know there's a couple of you out there that are like curious about this and like, what the hell are you doing? But it would be cool if any of you are interested in meeting for coffee or lunch or something in and around the I-75 corridor. We have this weird thing where when we make a trip, if we can see people, it makes it a little more doable. It's kind of like an encouragement for us on the trip. And so by all means, like if you don't live in that I-75 corridor area and we can't visit you, please encourage us for what we're doing. It feels very tender and very difficult, you know. This is a difficult year. I've had some huge adjustments, and the idea to break out of what has been happening and go do something, you know, make a trip, take myself out of my rut. I know so many of us are in ruts right now, and I just feel like I have to do this. I feel like it's difficult, it's a little crazy, right? But it's the right thing to do, if that makes sense to some of you. I think those of you who know me and know my mom can see what's happening. It's yeah, I'm gonna cut the video here, but I hope to hear from some of you guys. Stay with us on the trip. Just keep us encouraged, keep us in your thoughts.